over a year ago, I did this video about the interviewer from Atlanta Street Interviews YouTube channel. There were several allegations being made against him from the homeless community that he interviews in Atlanta. And while some of the allegations had been proven by the receipts provided by the accusers, Marcus himself had never spoken out about the allegations, so the story was always one-sided. But after waiting for over a year, the interviewer, Marcus himself, has finally come out and spoken up about some of these allegations. In a now deleted live on his Atlanta Street Interviews channel, Marcus spoke about the allegations made against him by the accuser Monique over a year ago. Let's check it out.
So the situation with Monique, that was a unique situation because the long and short of it, let me just say what happened, okay? Let me just say. So Monique was outside as well. And she had, called me to come and rescue her from a situation. She felt like some guys was about to take advantage of her. So I came and got her. And I was like, well, listen, you're outside, this and that. Let me see, possibly if you can stay with me for a few days and I'll help you to kind of get yourself together and then you can get up out of there, right? She was talking about working at Hooters at the time. And Hooters is right up the street from my house. So I felt like, hey, okay, let me just back up. So the whole situation with Monique actually came about because I was on the high of the Josiah saga. So I had just that previous week got Josiah's home, okay? And so I thought I was gonna win a Nobel Peace Prize, okay? I am running around here ready to save everybody. I am ready to save Atlanta, okay? Like I was feeling so good after that Josiah's saga, okay? So, I'm running around and so here's this young lady, she has this interview, sad story, everything else. Long story short, she had called me to come pick her up. So I was like, all right, well, look, you're outside. Let me see if I can help you out. The whole plan was I was going to basically get her hair done, her nails and her toes, allow her to go get a job, up at Hooters or wherever. She could start working. And then we was going to do an update. And I was going to show everybody like, man, look at her now. Because she looked crazy at first. And then now look at her, right? So I'm trying to save this girl, right? Trying to help her out. And so long story short, we get into the apartment and without saying too much, okay? You know that I have certain goodies here, Yana, right? That, some stuff, whatever, right? That you can eat and whatever.
Yeah.
She stole one.
Not she stole one. You say it's
she stole one. When I went back to my room, I wasn't in there for more than about 3 or 4 minutes. I came out and everything was still sitting there the same way that it was. Okay, still sitting there the same way that it was. And so she was just sitting there. She was sitting there for a few hours, and then she starts talking crazy. And I'm like, "Is everything okay with you?" And she's just talking crazy. So I'm like, at this point, I'm like, oh shit, what did I do? Like, she ain't gonna be able to stay here or whatever, right? And I asked her, so I'm like, what is going on with you? And she's like, oh, I took one of your edibles. And I'm like, why? Like, basically, you stole the edible. Like, you didn't ask me. You waited until I went into the room to do it.
Red flag.
And so, right off the bat, you can't steal something from someone's house and think that they're gonna help you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, so she says, I kicked her out and this, that, and the third. That's not the case. That's not the case. I was, I let her stay that night because it was dark outside and it was cold. She slept in my bed, which she slept in my bed. Where do I sleep when I have a situation like that, Yana?
Oh, like on the sofa if you don't want to be in the bed.
My sofa has melatonin in it, right?
Yeah, so
In other words, I catch some of the best naps on my sofa. Okay? And so I let her sleep that off in my room, in my bed, and I laid down on the sofa. She woke up about 3 o'clock in the morning, flicked on the light, woke me up, She was hungry, right? So there was some Chinese food over to the side. So she went to eating that, and so I decided, let me go in the room and get a few hours of sleep. 'Cause it's like 3 in the morning at this point, like 3:30 in the morning. So I'm like, okay, let me go get some sleep while she's out here eating and doing whatever. So no sooner than I laid down and closed my eyes, I start hearing my drawers opening and closing, opening and closing.
No, you didn't.
So I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, so I get up and I'm like, what are you doing? She says, I'm looking for the recreational stuff.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So I'm like, why didn't you just ask? And she's like, I just thought I could get it. And I'm like, okay. So I can't even go to sleep because this person has sticky fingers and entitlement issues. And so, we're just going to stay up for the next 3 hours. And, when it gets light outside, I'll bring you to wherever you want to go, pay for a couple hotel room nights or whatever you need. Okay. No, she is. And if you've ever looked at her, if you've ever seen her, she definitely has some issues. So she goes on this 15, 20-minute rant by herself. She's like staring into space, ranting kind of violently about how these things keep happening and she keeps getting kicked out and this, that, and the third, right? Not mentioning the fact that she's a thief. So, hey, listen, I'm scared as shit at this point because she's acting nut ass crazy. And I'm just like, okay, this was a very bad decision.
Yeah.
Very bad decision. Okay. So, she's ranting and finally she stops ranting and she says, well, I'm just going to leave. I'm just going to leave now. I don't have to wait till the morning time. I'm just going to leave now. She's shouting. She's yelling. And, it's 3, 4 in the morning. So, I got neighbors. I live in a luxury apartment. So I'm embarrassed, right? So, and I don't want to seem like I'm kidnapping her neither, right? So I'm like, okay. I'm like, I don't think you should leave, but I ain't going to hold you. You know what I'm saying? So she left out the door, went the wrong way, right? And she's still shouting. So my neighbors, I'm like, oh, God. So I go out the door. I get on my, all right, that's the wrong way. Come this way. So I bring her, I walk her downstairs. Okay. And we get downstairs, open the door, and she walks out. And I let the door close. I let the door close. She's 38 hot. What are you doing? You da 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 da. And she's shouting, and the security guard is like, she's like waking up the whole neighborhood. You know how it is, Yana. We sleep on the driveway part of those apartments.
Oh, yeah.
The driveway part, if somebody's out there yelling, it'll wake everybody up.
Yeah.
She's going crazy, yelling, screaming, doing all this stuff. Finally, I think one of the security officers ended up like taking her somewhere or whatever. I don't know. But that was a bad decision. I tried to help that girl. I tried to, help them, help her to kind of come up. But she was not in the right mentality, the right space to do that. And so, that night, like she was talking about, she got kicked out because sex and all this stuff. Like, I didn't even want to have sex, or I didn't have sex once I realized that she was a thief. And she did that as soon as she came in. So sex wasn't even an option at that point. I was just plotting on how I could get her out my house.
Right.
Okay. And so of course, you, she ended up telling her story with her version that leaves out the fact that she stole stuff and was acting crazy and all this stuff. And she's very good at playing the victim, very good at catching people who, she caught me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was feeling very bad for her and wanting to help, wanting to come to the rescue. Again, I was fresh off of this Josiah's high, and I wanted to save the world. Okay, and I thought that I could. And boy, was I mistaken.
Well, let's just say Monique tells the story a little differently. She says that they actually had unprotected encounters several times. She also states that those little goodies were given to her and not taken. But hey, y'all drop down in the comment section and let me know what you guys think about this man who is out here trying to save the homeless community actually taking advantage of them? Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. As always, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like this video and follow us on all social media platforms so that you can stay up to date on the latest celebrity news, and we'll see you on the next one.